So this little truck slash tank was provided by GearBest. It's made by JJRC, and it takes a 2S battery, fairly substantial size battery, and I think that's because of the weight. It's fairly heavy. It has these props that kind of drop down that allow it to be a little lower profile as it drives. It has a camera up here on the top, and this is the antenna for that camera. One thing that I did like about it right out of the box is it came with a overlay on the remote control, and the overlay was both in English and Chinese, but on the English side it explains what each of the buttons do. This is great because it's really helpful to understand without having to do a lot of trial and error or read the entire instruction manual to understand what the buttons do. But you have a button for headless mode, you have a button that turns the lights on and off, of course your normal yaw, forward, left, right, backwards, throttle, and then there's a button that actually when you press it short it switches between flight rates, and when you press it long it switches between the ground and air. Ground is the current situation with the props all folded in, and then air of course is when its arms come out and it takes off. So it does also have an extensive long book here with all the instructions, and then it has a quick start guide as well, and it explains where you can get the app for it so that you can see the information on your phone. So the kit comes with one battery. It's a 2S 1200 milliamp battery. It comes with two spare props that you could put on in case you needed to. It looks like these little caps for the props just unscrewed by hand, so if you need to replace a prop it should be pretty easy to do. It does come with the remote control. It comes with the USB charger, which is nice, so you don't have to worry about plug compatibility between North America, China, Europe, whatever. This is just USB, which is universal, hence the name. It comes with this little holder that you can put on the transmitter that allows you to connect your phone to it and use the app. There's a little LCD screen on the remote, not exactly sure what that's for. It probably just tells you what rate you're in and how much throttle you're giving it. So I've charged the battery. It does have an on-off switch. I'm going to go ahead and put the battery in. It's off currently, so I'll make the connection here. Put the battery in. Close up the battery door. Now, like I said, there's an on-off switch. There's also a little trim switch down here, which I assume is for steering the tank. If you're driving the tank, you could move that a little bit left or right, and it would turn the wheels a little bit left or right if it was drifting to one side or the other. So that way it kind of allows you to drive it straight. So I've got that there. I'm going to go ahead and download the app. Okay, so I've downloaded the app. I've got it open right here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn the remote on, turn the tank slash quad on, and then what I'll do is go into my Wi-Fi. Alright, so there's a JJRC option in the Wi-Fi. Go ahead and connect to that. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the JJRC Flying Tank app. Alright, and I'll hit connect. And there's my live view of the camera. You see it right there. It's got two little LEDs right in the front that kind of show the way forward. Now I'll go ahead and put the phone onto my remote here. Okay, now I'm seeing a live view. So I'm going to go ahead and so there it is, rolling along a little bit. The wheels tend to spin out a little bit. Let me see if it'll roll in the I don't think it's going to roll in the artificial grass that I have. So the artificial grass is too much for it to roll. So I'll take it out in the front on the street and try that. But before I do that, I'm going to see if I can actually take it off and get it airborne. So you hold down this top left button and the wings come out, and then, yeah, just step back a little bit. So it is holding its altitude. Whoa. Although it's wanting to go up. Bring it over a little closer. So you have to be careful about not pushing the stick too far down or you'll kill the motor. Try and bring it back over here and land it. That was a surprisingly good landing, considering that it dropped from about 2 feet in the air to the table. A couple of things I noticed right off the bat. First of all, it's pretty laggy in terms of its control. It isn't super responsive when you turn. The yaw is pretty good, but the left and right takes it a second, and that's because it weighs a lot. Number two, it tends to want to drift upward, at least from what I'm experiencing. It wants to go, if you put the stick, the throttle stick into neutral, it's climbing a little bit. I suppose I could trim downward a little bit. That might help. I'll see if that does help. And then number three is when you drop the throttle below a certain level, the motor just dies. So it falls to the ground. So that's kind of scary. Let's see if I can put it back into... Alright, now there's a problem right there. As you can see, the blades are stuck in a position where they're blocking this thing from closing. So see, I've got to move that around, This one's stuck. Now let me try it. Alright, so it worked okay that time, but again, the blades, if when you land and you want to go into truck mode, if any of the blades are blocking the arms from going in, it's not going to work. So let's see now if it rolls. Yeah. Doesn't have a very tight turning radius either. Oop, off the table it goes.
Yeah, it is pretty fast. It flips very easily.
So as you can see, it has kind of a high center of gravity, so when it's running on the ground and you take a sharp turn, it tips over pretty easily. Alright, now let's actually try getting it in the air. So you hold down this top button here for a second.
That's pretty cool.
And then and that's the thing, is when you take the stick down just a little bit for more than half a second, it just drops to the ground like that.
That's actually really cool. that's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
see, like right now I'm pulling back full throttle. You see how long it took for it to turn around?
Yeah.
Okay, I was in rate 1, now I'm in rate 2.
I mean, for like a little kid though, that'd be so cool.
It's hard to fly though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty hard to fly. Here, you try it.
Yeah.
So like I'm pulling the stick down, now it's totally out of control. Like it's not, oh crap. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap.
Oh, it's really funny.
Yeah, see what I mean about being out of control?
Yeah. You think the wind took it? No, there's absolutely no wind. Want me to climb up and get it?
Do you see it? Alright, so Tate's going on a recovery mission. Try and get the drone out of the tree.
Just be careful in case I accidentally shake it down.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
I mean, it did hit this tree, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is, Tate. Here it is.
Where?
Right
Oh.
down here.
You grab it?
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. That's why I said this thing is hard to fly. Okay, so just to wrap up on this thing, unfortunately, it's not a great toy. It is not a great car or tank. It has a short turning radius. The wheels spin out a lot. It has to be on a very smooth surface. It won't work on any sort of grass or anything very rough. And it just isn't that much fun as a radio controlled car. And I have some radio controlled cars which are a lot more fun. And then it's not a very good flyer either. It's really heavy. It's awkwardly shaped. The whole thing with the motors going in and out, well, it's cool when they do work, going in and out. They don't always work because the props get stuck in the way, and there's just a lot of issues it can have when it's trying to put the motors in and out. And so you have to always go over and check it. And then flying it is not that much fun either because it tends to drift upward. It drops like a rock when you put the stick too low. And even in air, it's an okay flyer, but it's not very good. So unfortunately, as cool of an idea as this is, and I saw this and I was like, oh, I want to try that out because it looked pretty cool. It doesn't live up to its hype. I would not recommend this for a kid because I think they would get frustrated and bored with it. If you want to get something like this for a kid, I would get them a cool little radio controlled car and a cheap drone because this one doesn't do either of those things very well, my opinion. Hope this was helpful. Sorry this thing wasn't more of a exciting thing to drive and fly. I do have a link in the description if you want to check out the price and if you do want to buy one, and you've been warned. But hopefully it's something that they can improve upon. Usually JJRC makes really good products, and so I'm a little disappointed that they would put this one out in the condition that it's in because it's just not ready for. This seems like a test model. It doesn't seem like a final production model. Hope this was helpful. If you liked it, please give me the thumbs up. I'd love for you to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Ready, Set, Drone. Thanks for watching.